Welcome back to another video, guys. We're here today because I've been streaming for over a month now, and I wanted to make this video a little bit earlier, but I've been prepping for my Endless Elden Ring stream happening August 1st, coming up very soon, but we're gonna cover it today, don't worry. I wanted to cover the analytics of my first month of streaming, specifically on Twitch, because I think it's important for small streamers to understand that your analytics can show you a lot. And I also want to preface this with, this isn't going to be some deep dive into analytics showing you all the different ways and all the different connections that you can draw from a month, because that's pretty hard to do. That takes a little bit more time to understand, but what we can do is we can draw some conclusions from what we've seen over the last about a month and a half from what I've did in my first 12 days of streaming compared to the entire month of July. So with that being said, let's just dive into it and see what we got going on here. So I have my analytics pulled up on Twitch already. Now, I started streaming June 18th of 2025 here on Twitch. That was my first day that I ever streamed. It looks like for the entire month of June, given that I started on the 18th, I gained a total of 18 followers. I streamed 43 hours and 36 minutes, and I gained an average of 1.2 viewers for my stream. Revenue was 0, ad time per hour was 0 because I didn't get affiliate. Totally normal. To me, this feels like it's a good area. Now, to anybody thinking to themselves, you only gain 18 followers for streaming 43 hours and 36 minutes, this is exactly why I wanted to do this, to show you what you're misinterpreting, or what a lot of small streamers could misinterpret when they start out. Twitch is not a platform of discovery. So it's very important that in that first month that you stream, something that I failed to do is post to social media, post your clips, get everything out there. Because when you can do that, you'll see in July that there's a little bit of a difference. And I'm about to show you here. In the first month of streaming, you're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be implementing a lot of different things. I wouldn't necessarily focus on the following of your first month. If I could go back and do it again, some things that I would focus on was posting more content, would be focusing on building events, would be building out community aspects like your Discord and other things, rather than focusing on streaming hours upon hours upon hours upon end and not knowing what to do with the footage afterwards. So with that being said, let's look into July. So July, we have July 1st, the 30th. Yes, I know there's one more day in July, but again, I have a lot of stuff going on for the month of August, so I wanted to cover this now. So from June, we had 18 followers. In July, we gained 40 followers. In June, we had 43 hours streamed. In July, we had 84 hours and 21 minutes streamed, and we about doubled the average viewers in that time. We also gained a revenue of $57.82 and had 2 minutes and 26 ad time per hour. I feel like this is pretty good, but these analytics also don't show you the whole picture. It's also important to note that on July 1st is when I started posting to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, which is why we see a little bit more of doubled growth for each of these sections. Now, I could also say that I was given an extra 2 weeks to put out content and to stream, because again, I only had less than half of the month of June. But what July is basically telling me is that a lot of the success that I have gotten at a surface level, what I first think of is my clips that I was putting out on social media. The second thing that I can gather is your success on Twitch is not necessarily going to be attributed to how many hours that you stream. If this was the case, I would see a much larger following and I would see a much larger average viewer. What you should also be doing is clicking on these different sections to see where there are any outliers in your stream. You can see here that there's some empty gaps. That's because I don't stream on Sundays. So if you're seeing a bar here, it's because maybe I was doing a test stream or something like that and making sure that everything was ready to go for Monday. But across the board, it looks like everything is pretty consistent in terms of time streamed. I wouldn't really focus on time streamed because that's just the hours that you stream. I would more so look at the followers that you gained on those days. So for instance, on July 10th, I gained 5 followers. So if I go to July 10th, I streamed for the average amount of time that I did. I'm curious to see what I did that day. So I would naturally go back and look at July 10th and see what game I streamed, what was I talking about, looking at the VOD, how was I interacting with the audience, all these different things. The same thing goes for Thursday, July 24th. If I go to time streamed and I see that I have 5 hour streams, so I streamed 2 more hours and I gained 1 less follower, but that's still a little bit of an indication that I did something different that day. So what is it that I did that caused that little bit of an outlier? One of the most important metrics I would look at would be average viewers, because average viewers to me is making sure sure that you're being consistent with your audience during your stream and keeping them involved. So on July 25th, I had an average of 5.2 viewers. So I would naturally go back to that stream and see, okay, what game was I streaming? What was I doing that day? Is there anything that I did differently to garner more attention on my stream? And there's one more thing that I want to look at, which is live views. Live views is very important because if I go to June and I look at my live views, it's going to be way less. And we're seeing that right now. I have 6x the amount of live views in the month of July than I did June. And remember, I started posting social media videos July 1st. I can definitively say that is a strong confidence level of when I started posting social media videos, that's when I started to see more live views. Again, something happened July 25th that really brought in a lot of views. The same thing for Thursday, July 24th. And because I got that many views, I'm curious to see, okay, we had our average viewers, July 24th, that seems pretty good. High live views means a higher likelihood of getting a follow. Then we look at Friday, July 25th. I only got one follow that day. Why is that? I don't know. That's important to understand. It's okay not to know. Again, you're not going to figure this all out in 10 minutes. You should spend time going into this. And this shouldn't be an everyday thing, but over a month's time, be patient. You'll be able to understand a lot more about your stream, and you'll start to be able to see a lot of correlations and a lot of different things that you can test out and things that are able to push you forward. And so that way you're working smarter, not harder. A couple pieces of advice that I would give small streamers. Put a lot of time into understanding analytics. Do not put a lot of time into watching your analytics. Do that about once a month. Post to social media, start the YouTube, start the TikTok, start the Instagram, start posting your clips. Who cares if you get 50 views or 200 views a post? That's 50 to 200 people every day across 2, 3, 4 posts a day. You're garnering almost, let's say, 500 to 1,000 views a day that are bringing people over to your Twitch to see the activity that you have going on there. And the very last thing that I have to tell you is be consistent. These numbers would not happen if I'm posting off and on every so often or once every week or twice. I'm doing it every day. And it's so important to build that ethic, to build that flow, to build that consistency in the beginning, because that's how you build the best trust with your audience. And that's also, I will say this last thing, how you build your average viewers to go up, because your audience will start to get recognized with your stream, the hours that you stream, and so on and so forth. And before you know it, you'll be growing in no time. Guys, again, I know this wasn't a deep dive into the analytics. Some things might sound skewed. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is the first time I did one of these videos, but I was super excited to sit down and show you guys a little bit of what I went through this last month and my growth as a small streamer. I've learned a lot this last month. It's been super fun being able to put these videos out here and learning and growing. And I don't know where this channel is going to go, but I do know one thing. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, again, please let me know in the comments. If you like something, let me know. If you didn't like something, let me know. If you want to see something differently for next month, I'd love to show you guys more if that's what you're interested in. But as always, drink your water, eat your veggies, get some sleep, tell somebody you love them, go to the gym, I don't know, go be productive. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Toodles.